Their military is largely very weak, very, let's say a lot of soy boys.
You talked about the defense of Taiwan. Explain your views about that. What should be done there?
I think the best way to deter conflict on Taiwan is for them to build a home guard, because in an era of precision weapons where the Chinese, the PLA, can have pre-registered dozens of weapons at every known valuable location that Taiwan might have, meaning any aircraft, submarine, base, command bunker. So all those known locations are going to get erased in the opening moments of a conflict. What the PLA, what the Chinese Communist Party can't compute for is national will. And if you think about the American colonists in 1775, you had 30% that were pro-crown loyalists, 40% in the middle that didn't really care, they're just trying to survive, and 30% that were pro-liberty. 10% of the 30%, or 3%, actually took up arms against, at that point, the most powerful military in the world. And they won. And so because there was will, they knew the terrain, they could figure out the basic means to defend themselves, and they ended up buying or smuggling in arms from abroad to get their job done. In the case of Taiwan, the PLA, if they're going to move on them, they're going to put a big embargo. They're going to literally surround the country and try to lock it down. But if China's going to move, they have to go quickly. They have to have this end quickly, because China imports about 90% of their hydrocarbons and a significant amount of their food. And it's a very trade-based economy. So they can't go with a multi-year campaign like Russia has against a chunk of Ukraine. They have to move quickly. And so what they can't calculate for, if you take 3% of the Taiwanese population, I think it's like 720,000 people. That's a lot. Their military is largely very weak, very, let's say a lot of soy boys. Not all, but enough. But if you have people that can step out of their homes and gather weapons from a fire station, police station, civil defense shelter, the complexity and difficulty of trying to occupy a land where there's armed people that know what they're doing, that have maybe 4 to 6 weeks of partisan training, makes conquering the island completely exceedingly difficult, because you have urban terrain and you have massive jungle that they can hide out and operate in. The smartest thing, about the only smart thing Zelensky's done in the Ukraine fight, was literally when the Russians invaded, he opened the national armories, and people came and got weapons, RPGs, anti-tank missiles to fight. And that's actually what stopped the initial Russian advance. And so entrusting a percent of your population that is trained and motivated in Taiwan is the best way, and also the cheapest way.
And they're not doing that?
No, sir.
Are we encouraging or likely to encourage them to do that?
I think there's been an encouragement. Again, that's also part of the problem of the military-industrial complex, that the big lobbyists that talk to the generals want to sell big ticket weapon systems with thinking that some golden arrow is going to solve the problem. No, it's lots of simple weapons in the hands of people that are motivated and willing to defend their terrain, and turn every intersection, every village into another complex target that must be taken for the PLA.
So you draw an example from the American Revolution. If you undertake the classical study of politics, which you've done some here, you learn that there are kinds of regimes, and that the kinds that are liberal, that want people to live their own lives and make their own livings and innovate as they please, that it's very sensitive to have a big, huge state. And war is all-consuming. And so what I noticed about you some years ago, because you're a warrior, a SEAL, we should talk about that before we're done. That's a very hard kind of warrior to be. But you think we have to do this efficiently, and it's partly for the sake of the preservation of the liberal character of the society. And so the throw money at it solution is bad.
Truly unsustainable in every way.
Yeah. Yeah, and it will end up despotizing us.